Welcome to the fourth video in our creative series. In this video, we are going to be exploring twists and variations of lateral lines, so side bending, getting some more space in our side body. Again, just experimenting and playing to see how different variations of traditional yoga poses can transform your yoga practice. So again, these yoga flows are to invite curiosity into your practice, to invite playfulness, and to see if you can become aware before each practice about how you're feeling, how you want to feel, and see if you can make that shift through maybe tweaking some traditional yoga poses to see what you need for the day. As always, if you've got some blocks, bring those to your mat, and we will begin in any seated position that feels comfortable for you today. Seated in a simple Sukhasana seat, you can sit back on your heels, whatever feels good for you today. And get out any little wiggles, close down the eyes, and take a moment to tune into how you're feeling at the beginning of this practice. No right or wrong answer, just taking notice. And now maybe taking a minute to set an intention or have a thought of how you want to feel at the end of practice. Maybe saying that thought or intention one more time before we begin. Slowly blinking the eyes open. And come to start in an all-fours position. So if this is the first video that you're doing in this series, what we're going to do is we're going to go through the flow 3 times. The first time will be quite slow, minimal cues. Take the time to really see how the pose feels in your body. Second round through, we'll just go a little bit quicker just to make your body be a little bit more familiar with it. And then the third round is when we are going to introduce a little bit more of the creative intention for that piece. So to begin, coming into an all-fours position, shoulders over wrists, hips over knees, a couple rounds of cat-cow. So inhale, dipping the belly, arching the back, and exhale to round. Dipping chin to chest, pulling belly button to spine. Inhale to arch. Again, just go at your own pace, own breath. Nice and slow here. Minimal cues. Take the time to see how this pose feels in your body as we're starting practice. On your next inhale, coming to a neutral spine, walking hands back to meet the knees, coming up to a kneeling position. Exhale, step the right foot forward for your low lunge. Grounding down through all 4 corners of the front foot. Squeeze those inner thighs together. Whatever feels comfortable with the hands. Hands on hips in the air. Wherever feels good. Tune into what parts of your body are speaking to you in this pose. Bringing the right knee back to meet the left, taking a breath, stepping left foot forward. Low lunge on the second side. It's okay if it feels a lot different, a lot weaker or stronger on one side. Maybe one side feels more wobbly than the other. Really just try and step into the role of the observer here. Bring the left knee back to meet the right. Walking your hands out in front. Spread those fingertips wide. Take a moment to set up through, pushing strong through the fingertips, strong through the shoulders. Tuck the toes under. Inhale here. Exhale, send the hips high for our down dog. We're not too warm yet, so take the time to set it up. Walking out your dog. Maybe bending into one knee and then the other. Keep the knees nice and generously bent here if you need to, before settling into some stillness. Where is your body trying to make you send your attention to? What is speaking to you? Coming back to that intention, how do you want to feel the end of this practice? Walking your hands back to meet your feet, bend into your knees generously. Belly rest on the thighs, letting your head hang heavy for a little forward fold. Inhale as you slowly roll up one vertebra at a time. Exhale, stepping the right foot forward. Left foot becomes parallel with the back of the mat, setting up for warrior two. Bend into the right knee. Sending the arms out towards the front and the back of the mat. Gaze wherever feels comfortable. Tune into that breath. Inhale, flip the right palm. Exhale, sweep it up and over. Left hand comes to left thigh. Exhale, right forearm comes to right thigh, left arm rainbows up and overhead. Gazing up at the ceiling, down at the floor, wherever feels good. Inhale to rise, turning right foot to the long edge of the mat. So feet are parallel with the short edges of the mat. You can bend your knees here. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, hinge at the hips for your wide-legged forward fold. You can rest your arms on your hips or down on the floor. Again, where you're just kind of warming up, so you can bend into one knee and then the other. You can find stillness. Inhale to rise. Turning left foot to meet the back of the mat. Right foot is parallel with the front of the mat. Inhale here. Exhale, bend into the left knee, sending the arms towards the front and the back of the mat for your warrior two on the second side. Does this feel any different from the right side? Inhale, flip the left palm, sweep it up and over. Right hand comes to right thigh, reaching through the left fingertips. Exhale, left forearm comes to left thigh, right arm reaches up and over. Inhale to rise. Left foot parallel with the back of the mat. Again, bend into the knees. Inhale here. Exhale, hinge at the hips to fold forward. Inhale, rolling up to a standing position. Heel toe your feet in closer together. Bringing the weight more into the left foot. Right foot comes to the inside of the left ankle, calf, or thigh, whatever's feeling good for you today. Taking a moment to set up here. No right or wrong answer. Hands can go at prayer or at hips. Hands can go up high. Just taking a moment to see how this shape feels for you today. Inhale here. Exhale, bending into the left knee a little bit as you send your right leg long for warrior three. If you're feeling a little bit wobbly today, just bring that left or right toe back as a little kickstand, or it can just barely hover over the ground. Next exhale, bringing the right foot back to meet the left, setting up for that on the second side. putting your weight more into the right foot. Left foot comes to the right ankle, calf, or thigh. Whatever feels good for you. But really just taking the time to kind of set yourself up for where you usually default to. And really tuning into how your body feels, how your body usually feels in this pose, what usually speaks to you. Paying attention to just if one area usually speaks to you and you just can't seem to figure it out to make it feel better. Good, inhale here, exhale. Send the left leg long as you bend into the right knee, sending the chest forward for your warrior three. Left foot comes back to meet the right. You can give it all a little shake. Taking your time to come back down to a seated position. We're going to extend the right leg out long. Left foot comes to meet the right inner thigh. You're going to inhale your arms down, rounding up. Exhale, twisting at the navel, sending your chest over towards the right knee. As you hinge at the hips to fold forward. Again, not trying to go into the deepest expression that you can right now. Maybe back off a little bit so you can really feel how this right leg is feeling in this pose. Inhaling to rise, switching over to the second side, extending the left leg long. Again, reaching those arms down, rounding up on your inhale. Exhale, twisting to the left. As you bring your left chest over your left, your chest over your left thigh. Gazing wherever feels comfortable, maybe just down at the floor, maybe gazing at those left toes. Inhaling to rise, bring left sole of foot to meet the right for a butterfly pose. You can keep the spine nice and long, sitting up tall, or hinging at the hips to fold forward. This is our last pose here, so we're really just taking a few moments, tuning into your breath, tuning into your body. What is speaking to you today? How does this pose feel? Good. Inhaling to rise. We're going to come back to our all fours position to do this sequence one more time, just a little bit quicker, just to get your body more familiar with this sequence of poses. So a few rounds of cat-cow at your own speed here. Inhaling, dropping the belly, arching the back. Exhale to round. Maybe you're going a little bit quicker this time. Walking the hands back to meet the knees. Inhaling to rise up to a kneeling position. Exhale, step that right foot forward. Maybe you can go a little bit deeper now. See how it feels to go a little bit deeper. Exhale, bringing the right knee back to meet the left, stepping the left foot forward. Bring the left knee back to meet the right. Walking the hands forward a little bit more. Tuck the toes under, take a breath here. And exhale, send the hips high for down dog. Pushing strong through the fingers, strong through the shoulders. Pedaling out through the feet or finding stillness. Walking the hands back to meet the feet. Folding for our forward fold, letting the head hang heavy. Inhale, rolling up. Exhale, stepping the right foot forward, setting up for your warrior two on the right side. Bend into the right knee, send the arms out long. Inhale, flip the front palm, reverse your warrior. Exhale, right forearm to right thigh, left arm sweeps up and over. Inhale to rise, turning right foot parallel with the front of the mat. Bend your knees, hinge at the hips on your exhale for your forward fold. Wide-legged forward fold. Inhale to rise. Exhale, turning left foot towards the back of the mat. Setting up for warrior two on the left side. Bend into the left knee. Arms go out wide. Inhale, flip the left palm, sweep it up and over. Exhale, left forearm comes to meet left thigh. Right arm reaches up and over. Tune into that breath. See if you can link your movement with your breath. Inhale as you rise, flipping left foot so that both feet are parallel with the short edges of the mat. Bend the knees, big deep breath in here. Extend the spine, exhale, hinge at the hips to fold forward. Inhale to rise. Exhale, heel toe your feet a little bit closer together. Feet more, or weight more in the left foot, left leg, as you place the right foot to the ankle, calf, or thigh. Maybe you're feeling a little bit more warmed up to move up the leg now. Wherever you want with your arms, tune into that breath, tune into your body. Exhale, send the right leg long for warrior three. Inhale, bringing the right foot back down to the mat. Weight more on the right foot. Placing the left foot wherever feels good on the right leg for tree pose on the second side. Next, exhale, sending the left foot long. Chest goes forward for warrior three. Left foot comes back down to meet the right. Coming to a seated position. Right leg extends long, left leg bends in towards the groin. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, turn towards that right leg as you fold forward. Maybe you can experiment with folding a little bit deeper now, seeing how that feels. Inhale to rise, switching over, second side. Left leg extends long, right knee bends to tuck the right foot in towards the left thigh. Inhale, arms down, round and up. Exhale to fold at the hinge at the hip to fold forward. Inhale to rise, exhale, bringing left foot back to meet the sole of the right foot. Again, keeping spine long, or you can round or just simply fold forward. And now we're going to move on to the third round, which is more of the creative round, where we are going to explore just some different variations. Again, this is just to get you feeling playful, feeling curious in your practice. Everything that I suggest is just a suggestion. Anything that you are feeling called to do in that moment, try it out. See how your body feels. Maybe taking a moment to come back to that intention that you set at the beginning of practice, saying that to yourself one more time, and seeing if you can make that switch through this third round of just being a little bit more creative, being a little bit more curious and playful. Okay, third round of the flow, where we're going to be coming into variations of twists and lateral lines. Again, moving with intention. All of my suggestions are simply suggestions. If your body is feeling called to move in a certain way, Try it out. Move with intention, move with curiosity. Anything feels painful or too uncomfortable, just back off. So coming to our all fours position, a few rounds of cat-cow. Option here to move your body in more of a figure 8 shape. So rocking the shoulders forwards of the wrist, maybe bending into the right side body, sinking your hips back down towards your heels. Just curling your spine, bending into one side and then the other, moving in kind of this figure of 8 motion. You can do this with flexing and extending your spine, or maybe you kind of want to keep a neutral spine, but just side bend into each area. If you are working in that figure of 8, maybe try moving in the opposite direction now. Good. Taking it nice and slow. Bringing the hands back to meet the knees. Inhale up to a kneeling position. Exhale, step the right foot forward. Moment to make sure you're stable before you make any adjustments. We did this in the lower body flow. Maybe you just want to bring the right foot over to the left side of the mat, crossing the legs a little bit. Again, just experimenting. You can bend and straighten into the right knee. If you've got any blocks handy, you can try and use those too. Side bending over to the right. Switching over to the left. You can come all the way down to the ground too if you can reach there. I just like a little bit more support. I like to feel a little bit more open. You can come back up onto your typical low lunge. Maybe you want to bring the hands at heart center, twisting over to the right. You can bring that left elbow to left knee. You can stay more upright. Extend the arms out long. Good. Bringing the right knee back to meet the left. Stepping the left foot forward. Again, taking a moment to set up to your normal default before experimenting too much. Maybe if you're twisting over to that left side, you can reach back towards your right ankle as you reach your right arm high. Maybe doing a little bit of side bending into each side if that felt nice from the other side. Coming back, left knee back to meet the right. Walking the hands out in front. Tuck those toes under. Inhale here. Exhale, send the hips high for your down dog. Taking a moment to feel stable, to get set up before we change some things. Maybe you want to put the right hand more in the middle of the mat, just gives you a little bit more of a stable foundation. Reaching the left hand back to the left ankle or calf, knee, or even to the thigh. Twisting through the upper body. Changing sides. Right hand comes to right thigh or ankle. Looking under that left armpit. Maybe you want to keep the hands just as they are, but crossing crossing at the ankles. Again, you can straighten and bend into the knees. Maybe crossing one way and then the other. Walking the hands back to meet the feet. Maybe I really love a forward fold with the feet crossed. This is an option. If you're not liking the legs crossed, you can keep the feet parallel and go twist through the upper body. Maybe inhale, bending into the right knee, left knee, bending into the left knee, right leg straightens as you reach your right arm to the sky. Exhale to fold again. Right hand comes to the mat, bending into the right knee, left leg straightens, twisting towards the left. Exhale. Both hands come back down to the mat. Inhale, rolling up one vertebra at a time. Exhale, stepping the right foot forward, setting up for your warrior two. Same thing as a little bit if you watch the lower body flow. Maybe you want to just experiment with crisscrossing the legs a little bit. See if that feels any different for you. Maybe you're in a warrior two, but you're twisting over towards the right side, bringing the right hand back to meet the left thigh. You can reach the right arm up and over. Side bending into the left, just nice and open. Any variation, any kind of twist or side bend that feels good for you. Inhaling, flipping the right palm, sweeping it up and over. These poses were obviously already side bending, but maybe you want to really focus on the side bend and see if you can really crunch through the left side body. Really exaggerate that, really try and opening up through the right side body. Sometimes touching yourself a little bit along the rib cage, seeing if you can find a little bit more space through each one of those ribs. Breathe, sending that breath into the right side of the body. Exhale, bringing right knee or right forearm down to right thigh. Left arm reaches up and over. Again, we're nice and long through the side body here. Maybe you really want to crunch into the right side body. See if you can lengthen that left side body more. Maybe touching along your ribs. Seeing if you can send a little bit more breath there. A little bit more openness. Inhaling to rise. Feet parallel with the short edges of the mat. Exhale, bend into the knees as you fold forward. You can bring some blocks here if you've got them too, similar to how we did in the forward fold just a minute ago. You can, whatever height you like of your blocks, bringing the left hand down towards the blocks or the ground, bending into the left knee, straightening out the right as you reach the right arm high. Exhaling, right hand comes back down to the mat, bending into the right knee, left leg goes long. Inhale as you reach the left arm to the sky. Good. Bringing the left hand back down to the mat. Maybe you want to, again, using blocks or just hands on the mat, you can bend into one knee and walk your hands over towards your extended leg. This is one of my favorite moves. Side bending here, opening up through the left side body. Straightening out through the left leg, bending into the right as you walk your hands over to the left. Just sinking your hips down. You can let your head hang heavy here. Just nice opening through the side of the body. Good. Inhaling to rise. Turning left foot back to meet the back of the mat, bending into the left knee for your warrior two on this side. And we typically have spine nice and long, arms out wide. Maybe you just want to hands free, side bend into each side before we find stillness there. Maybe you want to twist a bit. Doesn't have to be a big movement. Inhale, flip that left palm up and over. As you side bend towards your reverse your warrior, opening up through the left. Maybe you really want to crunch through the right side. See if you can open up a little bit more through the left. Send that breath, open up through those ribs. Exhale, left hand comes to meet the left thigh. Right arm reaches up and overhead. Again, finding your normal side angle here. And then see, maybe you really want to scrunch through the left side, opening and rounding through the right. As you inhale, coming back up, feet parallel with the short edges of the mat, bending into the knees as you exhale for your wide-legged forward fold. Maybe you want to try and widen your stance. Maybe you want to walk your hands out a little bit further as you try and open up to the twist. Maybe walking your hands back and then still up on blocks, or maybe just grabbing the ankle as you side bend over to each side. Heel toeing the feet in towards each other. Inhale, rising up. Setting up for our tree pose. Sending the weight into the left foot. Right foot comes to the ankle, calf, or thigh. Wherever, find your balance. Find what feels good. And then experiment with maybe hands at heart or hips as you twist to either side. It's okay if you're a little bit wobbly. Maybe you want to side bend into each side. Again, just bring the right foot back as a little kickstand if you're feeling wobbly. As you sway your tree a little bit, side bending. And inhale, coming up to rise. Exhale, send the right leg long for your warrior three. Finding that stability. Before, again, you can use some blocks. Maybe bringing the right hand down to the block as you twist open towards the left. Keeping that right leg elevated or down on the ground for some extra support. Maybe you're in your warrior three and you just want to side bend into each side. Taking it nice and slow. Wobbles are good. Right foot comes back down to meet the left. Setting up on the second side, weight into the right foot. Left leg or left foot coming wherever feels comfortable. Find that stability first before you maybe twist. Again, just twisting at the navel, trying to keep those hips square. Or even side bending. Inhale to rise, exhale, send the left leg long. Maybe you want to twist the left leg a little bit behind the right. Side bending. Again, whatever your body is feeling called to do. Good. You can use those blocks again. If you want to open up to either side. Twisting at the navel. Whenever you're done experimenting with that, coming back down to your seated position, extending right leg long, bringing the left knee, bending the left knee, left foot in towards the right thigh. Inhale those arms down, round it up. Maybe you want to twist over to the left side this time, keeping the spine long. Little counter twist before you fold over towards the right. Maybe if you're sitting up with your right leg extended, you can reach your right arm towards the toes. Your left arm reaches up and over, side bending into the right side. Inhale to rise, sending the left leg long. Any variation that your body's feeling called to do. Maybe doing a bit of a counter twist. As you turn towards the right side. Or maybe sending those left fingertips towards the left toes, side bending into the left side. Inhale to rise. Left sole of foot meets right for your butterfly pose. Maybe sitting up nice and tall here. Maybe just twisting a bit through the upper body, keeping the lower body as is. Just a nice gentle twist here. Not really using the strength of your arms to crank yourself. Just they're there just as a little bit of support. Or maybe you want to bring arms back behind for support as you just windshield wiper and twist out through the hips. Good. Slowly coming down to your Shavasana. Again, maybe experimenting with a little bit more side bending. Maybe you want to come into somewhat of a banana pose, walking your legs over towards the left side of the mat. Grabbing the right wrist with your left hand and side bending over to the left. Staying here for a few breaths before switching over towards the right, bringing the feet more over towards the right side of the mat. Right hand grasps left wrist. And you side bend into the right. Or just coming into any pose that feels good for your final resting pose. Again, maybe coming back to that intention. Were you able to make that shift by any small tweaks of these poses? Rolling over one side as you slowly come up to a seated position. As always, thank you for moving with me. Thank you for trying something out that's a little bit different. I hope you learned a little bit about your body and something that you can take into your practice moving forward. Namaste.